Hi, Assalamualaikum to Encik Ikram and my team members. Thank you, Encik Ikram, for your time to participate in this interview. So, first of all, I want to introduce myself and my team members. My name is Muhammad Aidiman bin Asri, and my team members is Daniel Haziq bin Halim, Muhammad Nizam bin Asharuddin, Muhammad Aiman Akil bin Azri, Ain Najwa binti Manam. We are from UTEM, Bachelor in Manufacturing Engineering Technologies. For your information, Encik Ikram, we have some question to ask regarding our professional conduct in engineering ethic. As introduction, can Encik Ikram tell us about Encik Ikram and your position in the company?
Okay. Yep. Hello and good day to all of you. I'm Ikram. First of all, currently I'm working at the FJC system, which is in Pekan, Pahang. My role and position as assistant factory head, who's being responsible in the quality, logistic, production, and also engineering team. So means to say that I was the person who responsible for all the operational in the ZF manufacturing. Just roughly for your information, ZF is a manufacturing company who expertise in chassis technology and also assembly process. So basically for the automotive sectors. At the same time, we are MNC company that provided technology and service to the luxury car company such as Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and Porsche for the Malaysian market. And then I've been working here at least more than 10 years. And before current position, I was also started my career as a maintenance engineer in there. So hopefully that I can help all of you by sharing some experience throughout my journey and my career.
Oh, okay. As a first question that I want to ask to you, Encik Ikram,
Yep.
when working as an engineer, whom do you
Mm.
turn to and what step do you take to resolve a problem with ethic among project workers?
Okay, so uh, basically, but before that, yep, I'll just asking the question most probably based on my opinion and uh, because I believe that within 10 years experience also we can say that it's not that long enough, but I'll try to help you. Then back to your question recently. So for example, daily operation or certain project, for sure there is a conflict or problem that might be occur due to the different opinion, decision making process by individuals, different method or approach taken, and etc. So by having that kind of conflict or problem, it might be resulted towards compliance and or obligations toward the rules and regulation. So for the any issue encounter, first the most important things we should liaise with our superior, which is pre-informed to them, and I believe that every company having the organization structure in terms of reporting and escalation. And then at that time as well, we as engineer, it's important for us to analyze the situation by taking step back, which is came out from that circle, which is by looking at the big pictures. There are a few, I'll say that my practice, which is one of it is first of all, I have to establish the fact surrounding. So by establish the fact, which is fact are important in law enforcement. From that, we will able to investigate, and then at the same time, by having a correct facts, or most probably we have to rely on the fact to ensure that there is no misinformation and there is no cognitive bias towards certain situation. And then another thing is maybe uh, we should consider option. So because during the there is some a conflict that being happens for certain projects or certain tasks. There might be several options we have to consider, and each option ought to be considered critically by determine what harm it will cause and what values that the person being harmed holds. And then another thing is maybe not maybe should be consider the positive or negative outcome. By having that kind of consideration, we able to predict what may otherwise be the unintended consequences of our decision. Then these consequences may be not be readily apparent, but they required a critical analysis of the consequences towards our decision. And then last not least, maybe first, not first, the most crucial as well, determine our legal obligation. So in our professionals, our awareness is the most important things. And the legal obligation must be known in order to understand completely the consequences of our action. So maybe that a few steps that I can share to you.
Oh, okay. Now I know. For my second question, what do you consider to be the most crucial factor in maintaining your credibility as a BEM engineer registered?
Okay, so for the BEM, Board of Engineering Malaysia, um, once we register as a BEM, most probability our credibility is depending on our understanding of towards rules and regulation. And then as an engineer, I'm always use the term of servicing. So for us to service better, we must understand related act and regulation, where resulted that we will know what can be done and what could not be done. Beside that, I believe that I'm not that familiar with a BAM system, but I believe that by having registered throughout the BEM itself, they will provide somehow like a guidance for us to follow. And then from that point of view, because when we're having a guidance or the rules that we have to follow, if we are following 100%, I believe that our credibility at the highest level, which is at the top level.
Okay. I think thank you for the information. Okay, next question. I will pass to my team members. Daniel Haziq. Okay, Daniel Haziq.
Hi, Ikram. Good
Right.
day. So my question is, based on your opinion, Ikram, what is the difference between personal and professional ethics or moral value?
Okay. It was personal and professional ethics versus
Or
the moral value, right?
yes, yes.
Okay. Based on my opinion, I think that there is a difference between ethic and moral value. First of all, I will say that ethic is referred to the rules provided by the external source, such as a code of conduct, rules and regulation, and so on. And morals mainly refer to the individual own principle, which is regarding it was correct things to do, right or wrong. Okay. However, regards to the question, which is for the personal and professional ethics, I believe that it was a completely different. As the main thing that make it different was the strictness level. Okay, for the personal ethics, is referred to the ethic that a person identify within respect to the people or the situation that they deal throughout their everyday life. For example, which is for the personal ethics, the person with good personal ethic will automatically show his moral and virtues while talking to his friend, relative, and other people. So that kind of personal things. But for the professional ethics, it's mainly referred to a person who value and principle that are introduced to the personal. uh, which is throughout the professional organization. For example, each employee in the organization or a certain company, they have to follow the rules and they do not have any kind of choice. So they can't be reluctant toward the rules and a procedure or whatsoever that being defined by the company. But for the personal, yep, it's subject to that individual itself. Some people will say that it was wrong, but then some people say that it was right. So that was the difference between personal and professional. So that was my roughly opinion regards to this question.
Okay, thank you, Ikram. Thank you. So for the second question is, what action should be taken if there is a party that give any benefit, compensation, or money to get the same project?
Uh, yeah. If we're talking about me as an employee, I think the Asian is straightforward. It can't be done. So I believe that all company, they have their own code of conduct, rules and regulation, which is included bribery topic. Even though the question that you stated above or recent just now is mainly talking about bribery. So in the general scope. So I believe that it was the unacceptable action. As example, there we do have a code of conduct assessment that must be taken yearly basis, where it will measure the understanding and awareness to that particular person or to our all employee. And then for sure, if we having this kind of situation, we have to report to our committee, and usually our ZF team will fire that personnel involved. And if any kind of police report uh, required, and they will perform or they will do it. So
Okay, thank you, Ikram, for the best answer. So the next question will be given by my other teammate.
Hi, Assalamualaikum, Encik Ikram.
salam.
So my question is, as an engineer, how to record the progress of the work to avoid any issues and problems?
Uh, okay. How to record the progress of the works and any issues encountered. Okay, I'm not sure whether all of you has been introduced what kind of tools, because um, there's different company, they are using a different kind of tools. Okay, so I'll just mention you a general approach what we are taking. So for example, as in our organization, even though during my time as a engineer, last time, I'm openly, or it was my practice, I'm used the PDCA approach. So if you're not familiar with the terms, it was plan, do, check, and act. So with PDCA approach, we're able to ensure a good result of a task or responsibility that we carry out. I gave a scenario or a simple situation to all of you. So P is the plan. So plan when you are having a, or when you are being assigned to perform any task or any small project example. So first thing you have to plan, right? When you want to complete it, uh, what materials need to be used, and so on. So after you have a proper planning, then you will perform do. Do is where the implementation phase happens. So all the progress was there. Okay. When you are do, you are implement those project according to your plan. So that was the second step. Then once the implementation been done or in the midst of progress, you have to perform the next approach, which is check, which is C for the check. So from the check point of view, you will ensure that is there any challenge toward it? Is it the progress according to your timeline or roadmap? And is there any issues toward it? So after you check, then for sure, for example, you identify any somehow like there is a problems occurs there. So this is where A, which is act, to be performed, how you react towards those issues, what will be the improvement, what will be the idea to resolve those issues. So that will be the simple method or simple approach that I will say that is mostly useful for throughout my experience within more than 10 years. Hopefully, I answer your question correctly.
Yes. So my next question would be, what should an engineer who observe his colleague copying confidential information unauthorized? If you choose to stop your friend, what if this get repeat without his notice? If you choose to report the management, what if your friend lose his job? In your opinion, which is morally correct?
Uh, I think my from my opinion, I think from my judgment, I'll say the answer is same as the question recently regards to the bribery topics. I think so because when when you are as engineer, which is you are the person who being assigned to perform it, which is in terms of from the technical knowledge. We're talking about technical knowledge, and engineering thing is the most key person will say that way. Okay, then uh, if he taking or he do it's against the company rules, it's all was totally wrong behavior. Yes, for sure it will be reported to the company. Yeah, and then they he or she will facing the consequences because of he or she their actions. Then might he going to lose his job. But the things that I want to priority or highlight here, the rules already defined. Me or you, all of you, as employee, we have the obligation to comply to it. If a person have a good morals, they should already know what is good or bad for his career, whether he's realized it or not. So, yep, I think only that kind of statement I can give to all of you.
Thank you, Encik Ikram. So the next question I give to Ain.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, Assalamualaikum Cik Ikram.
Salam.
Okay, my question is, based on your opinion, do you think your company takes engineering ethics seriously?
Yep. For sure. So we are taking the engineering ethic is as a important things as something that we can't play with it. Okay, because of first, as I mentioned recently, I believe that when you go any kind of company, any kind of sectors, basically when we're talking about engineering, so they are the person who understand better in terms of technical topics, in terms of um, uh, 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 impact or effects towards something. So for example, as there, firstly, why it was important, the engineering ethic was seriously taking seriously. Sorry, it's because of it's involved company reputation. So as for example, that we are an MNC company, a multinational company, who's been in the industry more than 125 years. So basically, we do experience plenty of a failure. So from time to time, uh, we have to ensure that our company are staying or are flying at the top. So we do plenty of things to strengthen, to secure um, the understanding of the ethic related to engineering works. And then secondly is we know that engineering is person who design or who create something new or responsible for the process. So for example, there most types of engineering related to the personal health, which is for the employee. So for example, process wise, engineering are the person who design the process, right? So they have to ensure that it was correctly. So there is some guidance or guideline that they have to follow. And then to ensure that there's no hazard or there's no dangers to our employee. And then second, last, maybe not last, because we got plenty of point, but I just I explained to you a few of them. Maybe the next one is the development program. So I'll say that they have seriously taking on the ethic, because we do also a develop program for the engineer, which is to understand our rules and regulation, understand of our expectation as a company, and then we also giving somehow like opportunities to them. If you are working correctly according to the way it should be, then you might be able to transfer to our R&D plant in Germany, which is for the engineering. I think R&D will be much more tough and as tough and challenge, I think. But it provides a good opportunity for the better life. Okay.
Okay, thank you for the answer. Next question is, what level of expertise and knowledge are needed to be professional engineer?
Expertise and knowledge. Uh, from my opinion, in order to become a professional engineer or even a successful person, the main thing is you have to having the up to date technical knowledge. Okay, it's important to have the right. At the same time, it's important to have a right educational background to set yourself toward the right path and stay at the top of your game, which is by reading, for example, reading industry news, maybe some article, or consider getting a certificate in a new area or a relevant technology. And then, secondly, skill set. Success or professional engineering, a successful person or professional engineering must come with a correct a skill set. Example, we or you all let on as a engineer, you have we must have a critical thinking or critical reasoning, because we were using our knowledge that we acquire that we get throughout our education and our careers, means that we should have the core understanding needed, which is to see the wood from the trees. By being critical, will be allow you to realize where the value is in a piece of work, and able to evaluate which point that mm, crucial. And then, as engineer, it's important is attention to the details, because being an engineer, accuracy and precision are both vital attributes. In this industry, mistake can be costly, as even the smallest miscalculation can have profound effect. Failure to pay attention to the small stuff can result in a huge consequences when it comes to incurring costs or even health and safety. And you might need to consider as well innovation. So there will always be a demand to keep making things better, to keep things better, faster, and also stronger. The very nature of engineering means the engineer are the peoples who needs to deliver this day in and day out. Having the desire to innovate and solve problems should be a key skills that engineer strive for. Yep, I think maybe that's the question, the answer from our side.
Yeah, thank you for the answer. Okay, next question will be asked by Akil Azri.
Yep.
Okay. Hi, Assalamualaikum, Cik Ikram.
Um,
So my question is, what principle do professional engineer hold personally in order to maintain their professional reputation in the company?
Okay, I think this question also related to the previous question by your colleague recently just now. So maybe after expertise and knowledge, principle of engineering also important to individual or personal, especially for the company performance. There are few value that should be considered. One of it maybe a communication. Okay, because of a certain reputation has to come with constructive communication, which is transparent, fair, and keep communication flowing smoothly. And then next will be accountability. Accountability is we as a person, whether we are doing a mistake or uh, having others doing the mistake, we must avoid blame and we have to taking a full responsibility. And then at the same time, we have to seek for the solution and the improvement, which is I'll often say that generate opportunities from the problems. And then integrity, as we're talking about the ethic recently, the integrity is the most crucial things. You're only able to maintain as a professional person or good person itself by having a good integrity by following the company rules and also regulation. And then lastly, maybe mm, mm, a safe psychology environment, I would say, because we as an engineer, as I mentioned just now, we are providing the service, right? So when we are providing the service, we have to listen intently, and then we also has to express our a feeling or whatever the thinking as gratitude in the proper manner. And then the last thing, the most important is being open to the feedback, because uh, when you have a plenty of opinion, for example, you have a 2 3% giving throughout the opinion is much better compared only one person, because from that point of view you're able to looking at more option and so on.
Okay, thank you for the answer. For the last question, if there is one improvement that can be improved in the workplace, what is the improvement?
Improvement in the workplace. Okay.
Yeah.
uh, so right now we are talking about the personal or the working environment, or what do you mean by the improvement in the workplace?
I mean, what improvement that can be improved? You can be improved at the workplace.
Okay, okay, I'll touch both point. First, personal, because I do also have a engineering person who reporting to me. So now, the most important as personal as a engineer, as a person who hold the title engineer, the time management, because we in the realities that engineering will have to perform multiple tasks, so he became the multitask. Then because of that, most of the engineering uh, not able to manage properly their time, so they have to change a bit on that one. And then if we're talking about the improvement in our manufacturing or our process itself, uh, the most important thing can be changed is technologies. So why I'll say technologies is mainly in regards to the adaptability to the industry 4.0, which is automated system. So government recently, not recently, I think, announced that we are in the direction to towards to the industry 4.0, which is a less manual in the short understanding, less manual things, more on the system, which is, for example, less paperless, and more on the uh, digital things. Okay, so I'll take an example at our company there. Currently, we still implement manual reporting. For example, we are manufacturing that produce produce certain output, what we produce products, which is we supplies the according to customer demand. So every day there's variables numbers that need to be produced. However, we only able to calculate it, or we conclude it in the manual way. So means to say that at the end of the day, we collect the information. Yeah, we produce 8 units, for example, 8 units. Then report on the morning briefing by using a paper. Yeah, we produce eight units today, and in terms of our performance efficiency of our process at 80% and so on. However, by having a manual process, a person able to manipulate it, which is they can change the numbers because there is no system that directly links toward the performance itself. So I'll say that uh, if we can do improvement, all the quantities, the output being produced are linked with the system, which is digital board, maybe throughout the scanning system or so ever, then calculate by their own to show what will be the numbers of performance in terms of efficiency of the equipment on previous day. So I'll say that, yeah, only that kind of example. Is it sufficient enough for you, for all of you?
I think it is.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Encik Ikram, for the answer. I think that's all from me. I will pass back to Aidil.
Okay, Encik Ikram. For last question from mine, what your advice that you can give to us that will become an engineer in the future?
Yep. Okay, so first, not first lah. I'll say that this is just a piece of advice to all of you. Um, the most important, even though we are flying high, we are really a good student and so on. I'll say to you that you have to, when you came out later on, when you graduate, you have to have somehow like a good personality. I mean, because the main reason is um, skills, knowledge, and all related the things you can learn. You can learn it throughout from time of time. Either you are getting faster in terms of time periods, you get a bit faster, longer, and so on. But it can be learned. However, the personalities, there's no one able to change it. It's 100% on yourself. So it was, if you good behavior, and then it was good. But if there are some weaknesses on your side, you have to improve it. Because attitude will come number one. How good you are, a company, or later on, they will only looking at your attitude or your behavior. Because any good company could not ever change your personality. It's already on your. So basically, only yourself can change it. Okay, and then, yep, as engineer, the longer you are learning about something, the much better. And then it's just matter of time. Then, yep, I think that is a piece of advice, and yep, hopefully
Okay.
it's good enough to all of you, benefit and having a value add to all of you. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Encik Ikram. I think this session has come to end. Thank you for your cooperation and time. We hope the best health for you and family.
Okay, you too. Take care.
All
Thank
right.
you,
Thank
Ikram.
you.
Thank you, Encik
Bye.
Ikram.
Thank you, Encik Ikram.